Hi, this is Chad Adams with Skeleton Key in St. Louis, Missouri, and today I've got a cool technique to show you. I work with Alan Kirtlink at Skeleton Key. Alan's an authorized trainer and a very smart guy. While working with him recently on a project, I noticed this calculation he was using, and I just thought it was a really elegant way to handle a common problem. In the situation we were using it for, we were trying to match some non-serialized data together the best way we could. And so we were doing things like concatenating together names and addresses to try to make a unique string out of those so that we could see if we had dupes or not. So the examples I'm going to use are going to involve putting these strings of text together to make a unique ID, but you might use the same technique for something as simple as a display field for your address or your name. So let's take a look. If I were needing to put together the name fields here into a string of text, let's look at some ways that I might do that. Let's go and make a name calc field. Okay. The first way we might do that might be as simple as doing something like this, right? Name first and space, and name middle and space, and name last. And that would work fine most of the time. Let's take a look here at what that would look like if we add the name calc field to the screen and make it a little longer. We'd see something like this, and again, that would be fine. But the problem comes when we're missing data. If we don't always have all the information, then we end up with something like this with two spaces. You can see that or not, I'm arrowing back and forth, and there's a space in the middle there. Okay. So then, to get around that, you start doing things like this. Let's make a new calc field, and let's do something like this. If the first name is not empty, then show the first name, and if the second name is not empty, then show a space for us in the middle name, and then same for the last name. With the calc like that, it gets better. Let's take a look at what that would look like. So in that calc, you can see if we take out the middle name that we don't have the double space, so we're doing much better. And if we take out the last name, everything looks fine there as well. Although here you can see this one still fails because it has a space on the end, but this one is doing better. The problem with this calc is when you take out the first name. On this one, we still get the space on the front because of the way the calc was written. Okay, and you can imagine how much complicated this could get when you were dealing with an address where any of these could be empty and you're just trying to find a unique string between them. The case calculation to solve that could get fairly complex because we could come back in here and we could change the second line to something like, case not as empty middle name and not as empty first name. Put together the space, otherwise just show the middle name, and you could have a fairly complex case calculation there where you're taking out the possibility of what if the first name's empty and the middle name's empty, and then show the space or not show the space. But the technique that Alan was using, which I thought was really cool, let's take a look here. Number 3, change options, was this technique. So pause the video here if you need to and just absorb the coolness of this. What's going on here is that we're using the list function to pull together the values, and list is only going to return the value if in fact there's a value there. If not, it'll skip it altogether. And then we just use a substitute function to take out the carriage returns and replace them with spaces. So let's take a look at what that looks like. If we put that on the screen, when all the fields are there, it looks nice. We take out the first name, it still looks good. Take out the second name, it works well. And if you take out the last name, there's no space on the end. So once again, imagine if you're trying to build that same calculation for address, how much better that is. And in fact, let's just take a look at that and see what it looks like. If we were to use something like this, list, address 1, 2, 3, substitute, it doesn't even matter how many things you have in here, it's going to work out very well. And we'll come in here and take off some of our name calcs. We've got room to display this. And you get a nice string of text that doesn't break regardless of whether you've got missing information or not. It just adjusts and works very well. I hope you found this technique as cool as I did. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me at chad.adams@skeletonkey.com.